Yo, what's going on YouTube? Jesus TV back with another video. This is the last video of the open window, of the early window, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to talk about NBA and March Madness, or just NBA, or just March Madness tonight. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm probably going to be watching college basketball for the most part, so yeah, we might just do a March Madness, like all the good games today we'll talk about tonight. I think we'll just do that. I think that would be really cool. So, yeah. We have the 9th episode. We have the final episode. I think this is the finale. Look for the light. So episode 9 of The Last of Us starts with Ellie's mom rushing through to an abandoned house and desperate for salvation. So we kind of get her origin story, her being birthed by her mother and how it happened. And yeah, she's heavily pregnant and her water breaks as she scrambles up the stairs. With a knife in hand, a rare sight occurs. An infected. We haven't seen one of those for a while, so I mean, that's a joy. Anyway, Anna manages to kill the infected at the same time as giving birth, but unfortunately she's scratched in the ensuing conflict, meaning she's going to turn. I mean, when the infected come around, they are very, very effective. They've killed a character damn near every time they show up on screen, so that's good. But, man, the few precious moments she has with her baby she makes the most of, cradling her child and telling her daughter Ellie that she's super tough. At first I didn't know who the hell this was. I was kind of assuming it was Ellie because they kind of cast her mother to somewhat look like Ellie, I guess. As day paves way for night, Marlene breaks into the house with her Firefly compatriots and sees Anna with her baby. She also sees her scratch, realizes she's infected, realizes her daughter's not going to have a mother. So yeah, very unfortunate. But Ellie, it made her tougher than ever. Anna hands over Ellie, telling Marlene to take the child to Boston with her. As Ellie is taken out the room, a choice is made and Anna is shot in the head. Obviously, put them out of their misery. That's like a common trope in kind of these apocalyptic movies or shows, whatever. We have a lot to talk about here. So what does Ellie see at the top of the building? There's some interesting questions here. Interesting explaining that I'm going to do for you guys. So fast forward to the present, and Ellie is distant and reserved after what happened with David. The pair are getting close to the hospital, but before that, they decide to climb an abandoned skyscraper to get a better vantage point and lay of the land. And Ellie seems very mundane, very plain mood, very nonchalant. And Joel wants to know what's up, but Ellie is boosted up, dropping a ladder for Joel before suddenly seeing something and rushing off, telling Joel he needs to follow. It's a giraffe. This brings a lot of joy for her, and Joel is happy about this because she's been very, very kind of down, it seems, most of the day. One of the best scenes from the game is adapted beautifully here as Ellie smiles and feeds the giraffe. Joel and Ellie watch as the giraffe returns to his herd before Joel contemplates what to do next. He's concerned and even suggests they head back home again. There's no halfway with this, Ellie says. We finish what we started as the pair press on to find the hospital. And yeah, Ellie's a tough son of a gun, and her mother says it at the beginning. Yeah, she's been through a lot. It's kind of insane. So, at an old abandoned army base, Joel reveals that he gave up in the past and Ellie was the only thing that kept him going. It's a really beautiful chat, and as the pair continue on, with Ellie getting her pun book back out again, they grow nearer to the hospital. However, there is a slight problem. So does Joel save Ellie? Soldiers show up, throwing a grenade and grabbing both Joel and Ellie. It wasn't a grenade, it was a fucking flashbang, by the way. They would be dead if it was a grenade. Joel is knocked out and brought into a hospital where Marlene happens to be waiting for him. They're not doing anything with him, they just want to hold him aside while they're doing stuff with Ellie. She reveals the horrible truth that Ellie is being prepped for surgery, and that's probably not good because they're prepping a longer trip or whatever, and, well, I mean, Ellie being in the hospital and being subdued is probably not a good thing. As cordyceps grows in the brain, surgery would mean Ellie is going to be killed in order to fashion a cure. Which is extremely fucked up, honestly. She's 14. That's something Joel won't be able to take, and as he's led out to the highway by 2 armed guards, Joel takes advantage of the situation and kills both men on the stair while he goes on a rampage. This is probably one of the more badass scenes that we have seen from this show. A shootout ensues as the sound design beautifully mirrors the chaos and destruction. Joel plunges through the corridors, killing soldiers left and right as he desperately tries to find Ellie. I mean, it shows that he would do anything to save this girl. Joel shows up at surgery and kills the surgeon, forcing his 2 assistants to unhook Ellie and leave her. Joel scoops her up and takes Ellie down to the parking lot where Marlene happens to be waiting for them in case they try to make him escape. She pleads with Joel to do the right thing and save Ellie, but he refuses. Instead, he drives Ellie out the hospital and away. Why would he save it? That's not saving Ellie. No. How does The Last of Us end? So on the way, Ellie regains consciousness and Joel lies to Ellie, claiming that there are numerous others immune like her. I mean, at least he saved her life, though. He points out that Raider showed up and attacked the hospital, but of course we know that it's Joel. Joel is the Raider. As further flashbacks reveal, he also shot Marlene too, making sure she can't follow Ellie. So we didn't know that at first, but then we figure it out and it's like, wow, this dude's lying about a lot of shit. But he's got to make it smooth for Ellie. He doesn't want her to worry about anything. As for Joel and Ellie, they drive day and night before arriving at Wyoming. They've got a 5-hour hike ahead of them, so they head off and overlook their settlement. Obviously, their car runs out of gas. Before they continue on, Ellie asks Joel about what went down. She knows that Joel could be lying. Joel swears to Ellie that everything he said about the Fireflies and the Raiders is true. Ellie rolls the words around in her head before replying, okay. She just takes it, I guess. So, here are my thoughts. The Last of Us ends with a bang. What better way to do it than to faithfully adapt everything that happens during the latter part of the game? I feel like the ending, I feel like the ending should pretty much mirror the game perfectly. For those unaware, the only major decision here that can be avoided is shooting the surgeon in the head. Which, it shows the ruthlessness that this show wants to give Joel, I guess, and it shows how dedicated he is to save Ellie and how much he cares for her, but, yeah. In the original game, you can actually choose not to do this and still take Ellie, but the reasons for this will become clear in Season 2. We can't be spoiling the plot, though. I've been a pretty big critic of the show overall, given the lack of action, the hit or miss pacing, and the characterization, but this episode shows that adapting the game breeds the best results, and that's kind of what we've been discussing throughout the first season. Like, when they adapt the game perfectly, it's awesome, and I haven't even seen the game, so I kind of want to play the game now. The only gripe one could have is the quickness at which Ellie switches from being downcast and upset to jovial and cracking jokes. But that's pretty accurate to the game, so one can't have too many grumbles with that. Maybe that's just a flaw with the game that they had to put in this episode. But it is kind of unnatural, but it's not so unnatural that it bothers you. We finally get a bit of action in this episode too, which works beautifully with the montage, although the sheer lack of infected or clickers in this is mightily disappointing. We've had one scene with clickers and a few tiny cameos with the infected, but beyond that, the show has felt more like a post-apocalyptic romp like The Stand than anything else. With all that considered, The Last of Us does manage to end things with a bang. A simple but effective final chapter that adapts the last bit of the game and does so in a really satisfying and well-worked manner. It's a pretty good show here, episode, whatever. I can't wait to see what happens in Season 2, because again, I haven't played the game, so this has been a joy to watch the show. You never know what's going to happen because you didn't play the game, It's kind of a beautiful thing. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Later tonight, I'm going to decide if I want to do an NBA recap video, if I want to do a March Madness video. Who knows, I might just be talking about college basketball for the first time all year. This is the most important time of the year. So, yeah, have a good rest of your day.